Hello, happy Wednesday night. I'm working on getting Desi to join, so we will start the book discussion soon. So tonight we'll be discussing the right sign, and since we missed last week, we will be doing two different chapter sections. So we'll be doing both chapters 8 to 13 and then also chapters 14 to 19 tonight. Okay, Desi will soon, she'll join. Hi, hope you're doing well tonight. I'm pretty sure that I uploaded the YouTube, the live from 2 weeks ago on YouTube, but I can't remember if I made it public or if it's still private. Hello. You okay? Yes, I'm just tired. Okay. Anyway, so hello everyone. Just a quick reminder of who we are. I'm KT James. I'm hard of hearing. I will be using SimComm, which is signing and speaking at the same time. I will also be voice interpreting for Desi, and I'll let her introduce herself. Yeah. Hi, my name is Desiree. You can call me Desi. This is my sign name. I am deaf, and KT James Carey will be voicing for me. Yeah. So, welcome. This is the Definitely Readers Book Club discussion tonight. Desi I couldn't find my sweatshirt tonight, but it's fine. I'm using the other one, the bookish one. So, yeah. So we're discussing a lot tonight. We're discussing The Right Sign by Nia Arthurs. It is with a deaf woman romance book who starts fake dating a hearing man. And it's written by, it is also a Black main character. So it's kind of a combination. Salad, I know, salad mix. Yeah. So the book club voted for this book. This book it is both romance, just like she said, fake dating trope. It does have an age gap. And the main character is a person of color. And it's really perfect because this month is Black History Month. So the author herself is also a Black author. She is hearing. So Carrie and I read this book last year on our own. And we just found it and we started discussing it. And this is really our second time to read, but the first time for this club to read. And it's interesting comparison. So one thing that I've realized and I've noticed is, so when we read it the last time, I wasn't really reading these kinds of books to analyze. You know, like we really started analyzing, yeah, oh, it has enough character. And that was why we chose the book originally. And we were just discussing what we liked, what we didn't like. But now, like, I've noticed, yeah, after we have read different books last year, and now we're coming back to this one, oh, it's more, we're more analytical and open-minded on reading. So it's interesting. So remember, and I'm pretty sure I told you last year that it seemed a little bit strange that Dare, so the male main character, his name is Dare. Well, his name is Richard, but short name, nickname, yeah. Like, it was like suddenly he started like picking up on ASL, and it seems like they're only like signing together, and I'm like, how did he learn it that fast? Now I'm like, no. Now I'm like, there's a part in the book that we read this week, and she was just it was right after they meet with the teacher, and she notices that the teacher signs because her niece Nico is deaf too. And she was like, oh, wow, I've been criticizing Dare on his signing, but he's better than the teacher. And I'm like, honestly, no, he's not. He signed rain, car. And then the teacher signed something like artist class. And that's it. You know, like they're at this same level. But you see them having all of these conversations together, and I'm like, would Dare really understand what she's saying when she's talking about a warehouse or like all of this stuff? No, he's not going to know that vocab. So two things that just popped up when I'm commenting with what I said. The author herself, um, instead of trying to explain how the teacher and Dare are just beginning to learn, just short. Yeah. Dare knows a little bit more than the teacher. So I think they're trying to explain, but at the same time, when you read it, I mean, like, they're the same level. So I don't think that Dare knows more than the teacher, because the teacher has been learning since she had Nico in her class for months. But that doesn't mean that would know more than vocabulary. No, 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 no. I understand that. But I do think that the author is trying to make it seem like Dare is faster and is learning more and is picking it up. I don't know. It just feels okay. Second thing, my review of this with Yaya, she is not hanging around with the deaf much. No, only Henry, which is her friend. And she is used to Henry signing, and she's used to her hearing family signing. She's not really have that quick, uh, so she's used to, so that was another thing that I realized that I didn't like when I read it this time. She makes a comment in the book, and it says that, you know, Nico was born deaf, and so she is more fluent than me. I am not a native signer. And she said, I grew up, like, my childhood was with the hearing, but at the beginning of the book it said that she like had hearing loss when she was young. So, which is the truth? Like, and it's not consistent. Yeah. Continuity. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then also I'm like, yeah, you use signing every day. You don't voice. So why are you not fluent? That didn't make sense. And I was like, oh. So it's just little things that I noticed like this time reading that I didn't notice before because now I'm analyzing the books. Sometimes I feel like I'm deaf. I grew up deaf. I grew up signing and I had access to ASL and I went to deaf camp and all this. And other times I feel like I have imposter syndrome. Yeah. I'm, I'm not equal with the deaf world because I'm not deaf enough and I'm not hearing enough because many deaf people really, they are much more fluent than me. Yes. Oh, no. I'm not saying that you can't feel that way, but how the author said that, like that part, like wrote that part is just, it didn't make me feel like she really understood what she was trying to say. Maybe. I, it's just, it felt off for me. I'm not saying that the deaf representation in the book is not good because it's still good. It's just now I'm noticing things that I don't, not that I don't relate. It's just an interesting that, that. She thought Yaya was comparing herself to deaf elites. Okay, that's true. But that's not how it was really worded. Like, why use Nico as an example? Because honestly, Nico is not involved in the deaf community too. Not really. I've already read the book. You said that her background was in the other book, right? It didn't explain that her dad had a foundation for the deaf. Yes, but that's the only time that she's around deaf like kids or anything. Like they're not, I don't know. It's yes, but he started that because his family's legacy is music and he wanted his daughter to have access to music and that's the only reason why he started that because he's rich. Must be nice to have. Oh, okay. Did anyone else have a problem with the mom when it said that she was rusty and she was not used to signing? Because Yaya comes home all the time. And also, she has a deaf uh, granddaughter, right? I was like, you don't understand? I'm like, ah. And then later in the book, when both go to meet Lucy and she signs. Oh, Talia? Oh no. Talia is not the granddaughter. That's Nico. I mean, when her mom and Yaya, oh, she goes with her sister, but her sister is out of town, and then they act like she can sign. Oh, yeah. That made me feel like she's backpedaling. She's saying that she doesn't know sign, and then she signs, and then, well, she says that she's rusty. She doesn't know sign as much as her sister, Dej. So I did find it interesting that when Yaya is like upset or, frustrated with her sister, she said her sister's full name, Desiree, not Dej in the book. I thought it was funny. But Heather, the problem I have with that, Yaya has been living with her parents when when she's not on like location. So she's still there. Every time that she's not like like modeling, she's modeling, she's with her parents in their house. This is lazy. Okay. 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 Maybe. I don't know. I just, again, not saying that the deaf representation in the book is bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that now I found things that I didn't notice before because I wasn't analyzing the books before. I was just reading and the enjoyment for reading. Could I read it, not analyze it, and still notice things? Of course. I think typing it up and like reading in like sections has made me notice things more. And honestly, maybe I need to stop like analyzing so deep. Maybe. Thank you, Abs for sharing the live. Yeah, she used home signs. That's true. That's true. I loved that Talia was picking up on the signing. I thought that was an awesome like point to make. True, true, very true. Okay, okay. I have a funny today. I have a funny today. So I am very, very interested in. Okay, so my funny today is I get a text message from my sister, and she said, "Is this your author like profile?" Yes. She goes, "Is it a secret?" And I said, "No. I just don't link my personal home life with my author life." Anyways, it was funny to me because she's never found it before. Anyway, okay. So I am curious because Desi, you personally don't prefer to use your hearing aids. If you have to use them, you will. Right. And also, I noticed that the author Dare told Talia that the hearing aids, no, it was during the music in the car. He said he thought that the hearing aids only helped with low like frequencies, but later Yaya was saying that she needed help with high noises. And I was like, okay, I can't hear high. Same. But it it was just funny because I thought maybe he had did a background check. Maybe he did a background check on Yaya and found her audiogram, and I was like, eh. But then later she said she needed help with the high like frequencies, and I was like, that's different. Anyway, not the point. My point is, Desi, you don't prefer, and maybe because she's modeling, maybe she uses her hearing aids all the time. You okay? Do you need to pause for a minute? Yeah. So let me put him back to bed. She got out of bed and is complaining. I'm solo parenting tonight. So 1 minute. So hold that thought. Okay, I will hold that thought. So while she'll be back in a minute, does anyone want to any anything that you've noticed that you liked about the book that you didn't? So, okay. So the book itself, like while you're thinking, and if you want to type it out, I'll read the comments in a minute. But the book itself is about a model. Her name is Yaya, and it's really hard to sign that name. Yes. And her best friend, Henry, who is also deaf, destroys the wrong car. They destroy a car, and it's like a Rolls Royce. It's like 1 in 3 cars or something. That is rich man. His name is Dare. He is a little bit older. And needs, he tries to always just give money to cover anything that happens in the family, to hide what happens. Like his sister crashes a car, and they like pay off the police and all of this. Anyways, as she was drunk. So his sister is going to rehab, but he has, I think she's 9-year-old niece, Talia, and he wants to take care of her. Um, but his sister doesn't trust him, says that he's not going to stop working, and he makes up a fake girlfriend. So he basically hires Yaya. He blackmails her into a contract to be his fake girlfriend so he can take care of his niece. Now, so Yaya is deaf. She does not date hearing men. Um, but he does hire like 5 interpreters that first day after he realizes that she's deaf, to make sure she has communication. He starts learning sign for her because he is just fascinated with Yaya. And I'm curious. I'm catching them up about what the book is about. It's just a romance, like, a meet cute book thing. Um, I am curious now. Did the author know the ABCs for sign language? Because I would never name a kid Yaya because it's really hard to fingerspell. Do you find it hard or awkward? Awkward. Oh yeah, but it's just an awkward. No. And honestly, I'm not sure if she has one because all the characters who would need one have short names. Deej, that was her name for she created. Oh, that's true. Yes. Um, I do feel like, yes, I think that the deaf character representation is good, but some choices the author did with the deaf representation is not what I would like. Um, there is one part of the book, and that recently we read. I'm gonna find the page. Marked it. Okay. So when they're at the farmhouse, um, and they're dancing, and it's the part. Okay. Um, so it's like the farmhouse and they're dancing. They're there for Yaya to let her have the music as loud as she wants, just to, and this is after everything happens with the modeling, which I also had an issue with, because if she has an agent, I'm not sure if she can do her own like brand deals. I don't know enough about that. But it just felt okay, sure. Anyway, not the point. The point is it's on page 258. 258. Very interesting. That is ASL slang for very interesting 258. So for very interesting, yeah. So anyways, but he said, and it's like, after diving into research on ASL and deaf culture, I've begun to understand how little of the world caters to the deaf community, the lack of understanding, the lack of infrastructure. It's a hard word to say. Um, the lack of basic knowledge from outsiders must be isolating, especially if, like Yaya, so much of your life is built around hearing people and in hearing industries. There must be no escaping it. The feeling of being on, on, on the outside, of not being understood, of having to work extra hard just to be treated equally. That part I was like, yeah, okay. I really like that part, like when he said, like, after like researching, I realized, and it's like, no shit. But it was good. And I don't remember who commented, but yes, so Dare has character growth, and honestly, Talia has character growth. Not her mom. Lucy. I love the part where Dare is signing to Talia and Lucy is like uh like use your words or something like that. Yeah. A low quality Hallmark movie. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Again, Desi and I have now researched and found a more books with deaf representation. But again, at the time, we had just read Every Wrong You Right, which was an awful book. And then this book, well, we were also reading The Whispering Dark, but we had just like started really trying to find more deaf representation. This is like one of the first books that we felt connected with that had deaf representation. And I still think it's just so interesting, the change. Like, I know last year I gave it 5 stars because I was so excited to find that deaf representation. Today, I would say like 4 stars, 3.5 maybe, because it's a fine book. It's a good representation. Is it perfect? No. Could it be better? Of course. Is it an easy read? Yeah. Okay. Compared with last year, we were like, oh my gosh, romance! And it has 5 interpreters for her, and oh my heart. Like, oh my gosh. And now, seems like 5 interpreters. Book, but some things in the book is annoying. Okay, so the rain, it was a cute, like, part of the book, but does she have her hearing aids in? It never said she took them out, and I've never seen her take her hearing aids off, but after that, when she was changing her clothes. So some of the things that the author didn't think about. Yeah. She had a lot of things that she missed the opportunities to write, you know. And honestly, I feel like because Yaya specifically said that no, my hearing aids don't help. So this is a personal opinion. Why are you using? You sign. Technically, you can read lips. You actually said they don't help. Another awful author doesn't know very many deaf people. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Now, okay, with that kind of character, Dare, who is rich and thinks money can fix everything. Ugh. Not really, but with that kind of money, it's an annoying fact that he didn't mention about helping the deaf people. Like setting up a foundation to help the deaf with their get hearing aids, or having children learning ASL. Many children are language deprived, that kind of thing. It's just my inner thought that I'm like, ah. I will say, I do think he finally learned for Yaya, money is not going to fix anything. Because he told his sister that, you know, Yaya she doesn't care about money. Like, money's not, I can't buy her a house or all of this stuff. Like, she's not going to want that. And I'm like, oh, yay! Finally, you didn't try to pay her off. Good job. Yeah, finally, but at the same time, like this took a long to understand that. Yeah, yeah. I and he's a little bit of an idiot because when that time when they're both, let's back up. So Henry, her best friend, who they do everything because he even yeah, so he basically sold her out to another company. He sold Yaya out to another company, ruined her reputation. All of these people are commenting online, saying awful things about her. He isn't she is she even deaf? And that pissed me off. Now, it that happens. That is true. People will say that you're faking being deaf or whatever. Anyway, continue. And then Dare is not getting the clues with Yaya, like not letting her comment and sign. She's just assume he just assumes, and it's just that frustrating that they both went the wrong way. The miscommunication trope, and I hate that because it's so annoying. She only, yeah, in any book, oh, it's miscommunication. I'm like, so she only said, okay, I'll go with you to talk. Like, and that's when I personally realized, Dare still does not understand enough sign to really get to understand the conversation. He's still getting parts. Yeah. He's researching. He's researching. That's true. Hope. Yes, I am happy that Dare doesn't try to fix Yaya with getting a cochlear implant or whatever, and doesn't try to just. I, so is Jenny? Is that his personal interpreter now? And also, I don't read much of Jenny since, yeah, but but also I just feel like the comment when it said that maybe Athena should have given him a different interpreter because she seems very emotional, but maybe that's the best kind of interpreter, is having an emotional interpreter. No. You want there's a line between your boundaries when you jump over and you overstep and get emotionally involved. Yes. But I don't think emotional can be a bad thing. No, unless it's too involved. But the way that it was written, and maybe I'm just reading into things, it seemed like he said that he liked that the interpreter was emotional and very invested. No. Interpreters are there to provide access, not get emotionally involved with things. And I felt like Jenny was, so if she had been written more like Patel, where he was voicing and like they had fun chatting, but he was more professional on interpreter, or written more like Athena. I did not like that character. I didn't like Jenny because I felt like they wrote her to make it seem like interpreters are very emotional or embarrassed easily, or she's fresh, not an experienced interpreter like Patel. Patel is more, yeah. So he can code switch between voicing and matching. And Jenny is more like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. Can you tell? Can you tell Mr. Sullivan? No, you tell him. You're interpreting for me. Can you tell him? No. Or even like Jose, the driver. I really did not like Jenny because I felt like for a rich client like Dare, you're gonna send a fresh interpreter? No. You're gonna send the best, yes, interpreter. And that I think I had a problem with that. Like the boss, like Athena knew who he was, and she sent Jenny. And she sent 5 interpreters, and they didn't say anything else about the other ones. So they used her. It's really, I agree with you. That comment said Jenny is timid. That can be not good because sometimes, as for me as a deaf client and I have an interpreter, this interpreter is responsible for being confident and not like the interpreter is like, I'm scared. You tell them you're interpreting. No, it should be swift. I'm using the interpreter to help me build up my confidence to tell them whatever I have to say. You're interpreting my voice for me. Yeah. It's not me voicing for the interpreter, right? Yeah. Stand by. That's funny. Yes, they're there to interpret the information. You can, so the funny thing is, right after our first or 2 Wednesdays, we had our in-person book club that Desi and I are both involved in, and it's full of interpreters. And so I questioned. I said, "Do you normally get like embarrassed like when you're interpreting?" And they said sometimes it depends on like the context and like what's like happening, maybe like like happening in their lives at the same time. So it yeah, it was out of the blue. So like they said that they can, because I was like, it just felt off that she seems like very, very new and embarrassed easily and didn't want to say anything about sex. And they were like, we can get a little bit embarrassed, but it's our job. We have to interpret. And I felt like that's what I didn't connect with. It didn't feel like she was really an interpreter. I don't know. So, in 5, um, yeah, but also 5 trips on short notice. That's true. That's true. Um, I don't know. Jenny, Jenny was the only one we knew. And maybe they felt like you need to stay with the same interpreter. My dog just did like like the pose, like the downward dog. It's funny. Anyway, not realistic. Yeah. Oh, yes, completely. Did they cancel on other clients? That I read that and I felt bad. What if a deaf client needed those interpreters? But no, it's all the book is used for one person. All of them are there. Let's just pick that one. So anyway, okay. So what did we think about Henry? I was about to say that. I don't like Henry. Yeah. Yeah. I really don't like him because it's very Eric, he's very arrogant. I'm deaf power, you know, and how dare you? Okay, so, what is the stamp? Okay, backstab. Yeah, so he backstabbed Yaya, and then now he's professing her love for her at the same time. He didn't really apologize. He didn't say anything about like how sorry he was or anything. It was just excuses. Excuses. I'm trying to save you. I never asked to be saved. Like, what? It felt like I wonder if the first met through modeling and they became best friends. And his personality sense is very, it's too much. It's over, yeah. It blows up very easily. Yes. And so, how many times has she had to clean up his mess? She mentioned that at the beginning that he always blows up and she's cleaning up. And she tries because she knows that he has his grandmother to take care of and he's not like, he's poor, he doesn't have money, and she has her sister who can help if like really needed. Her sister is married to a rich man too, kind of thing. It just, and did you like that it was after she starts dating Dare, he decides, oh, I like you now. But before that, he was only dating hearing women. It's just seemed like it was didn't really make sense. Like his character just changed. I well, I really don't think his character changed because before, like from the very beginning, she said something about he was doing pictures that didn't match what they were supposed to do. But he said he only accepted um, after he was trying to save her. But they wouldn't have had the product at that time. She said, not now. I want her. Oh, and I can't have her. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So he's trying to fix things in inappropriate ways. Yeah. Both Dare is trying to fix things with money, and then Henry is trying to fix things, however, in stupid ways. Did you read Hope's comment? Maybe in this magical city with tons of billionaires, there are tons of interpreters. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think Jose just knows sign. I think that maybe he's a driver. They specifically found a driver who knows sign. Did it say that he was an interpreter? Oh, is it? No, he speaks. Dare speaks to Jose. I don't know. I can't remember. But back to Henry. I hate that man. And so after he backstabbed her with that company and everything happened, she's quiet with him, and he's like texting her. Oh, I need Maya, talk to me, and she's just ignoring him. And then had the nerve to be at her parents' house while Dare was supposed to meet her parents. And he's just like, commenting like, why don't you talk to me? You're ignoring me. I'm trying to talk to you. I need to explain. And then excuse. I'm doing this for you. No, you're not. You're doing it for the money. And then she at the same time is thinking, did he use money to help his grandmother to buy a house or a car? What did he use this money for? But no, he used the money for her to put it in a trust. Anyways, not the point. The point is the way that he tried to handle the situation with her made it all about him. Mm-hmm. Uh, I'm in love with you. You're ignoring me. Really? What? She's like, what? You're in love with me? We're friends. What is going on? This is too much. Okay. I need to talk to him. I'm going to go with him. And so that misunderstanding. So he thought that she chose him and they break up. And then that's where we are now. They meet at a cafe to talk. And the part where we stop is Dare tears up the contract. And she's like, what? So Henry is professing his love. I always loved you and blah, 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 blah. And she's just like, huh? But I didn't see, I see you as my brother. So he's just like, what? Oh, I forgot about June popping up. And he's just so rude to her. What are you doing? And he's very arrogant and rude to anyone. And then, I don't love you. I love him. I love Dare. Well, you're not going to be with me then. And he just walks out. She goes, he said, you said you would never date a hearing man, blah, 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 blah. Why don't you love me? I'm deaf and whatever. It's just drama. But I did like how she handled June, right? Um, it's not appropriate to stalk me, but if you want to hang out, just text me. Do it the right way, please. Thank you. But it felt like June could show like how rude like Henry, I don't know, just when I read it this time and I realized like I knew what Henry was doing, right? And I just noticed like more things and I was like, well, I didn't like him in the beginning when I read it last time because he just ran. He left her to deal with everything. It's his fault. And if he was man enough or if he was confident, he could have dealt with it. Though you can't run from your problems. You can't escape your problems. Like, also, when you keep saying, he's big headed, right? I feel like that's most like photographers, like professional photographers, can be a little bit in the modeling, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe the stalker. So, she says that she needs to talk to Dare. It's so immature. He just hands her the contract and cuts it up and says, "This is the temporary situation," and she's trying to profess her love. And, excuse me, okay, bye, bye, okay, I guess that's it. And then she left, and I'm like, ah, I wish she had that moment where she was just like, "Bitch, please." Where Dare is just shocked to see that personality. She's always a big signer, but more on top. Yeah. That moment where she's just like, wake up, that wake up moment. Not for her to continually to work to try to get his attention now. Yeah. I don't know. But I do like some quotes. I notice I like more quotes. This specific quote I liked last year, I still do like, because this was really uh I felt like I related to this. And the quote, I'm not sure word for word. I could find it. It says, "I can speak. I choose not to." Why? Because I'm more comfortable with signing that. Yeah. And then I felt, yep, that, that. Oh, because I do speak at home with friends, and I grew up speaking and signing at the same time. I'm used to it. I did speak. Um, I was in pageants where I would sign and speak and many things. Um, I just don't want, I'm just not comfortable with that. I'm more comfortable with signing because I feel like I can get my thought process better and it's fluid that way. She also says, not too long after that, it says, "Signing is my language." Um, and both of them are to Talia, I think. It's when she was like doing the notes, she has saved all the things that they talked about, the conversations with them too. Yeah. When she is questioning, why do you have hearing aids and why do you not speak and all this. Yeah. That was really a good example to show how a hearing children is asking questions because they're very blind. They have questions. I'm used to it when a child asks me, why do you have hearing aids? Why do you have, you're deaf? Can you hear all of this? So it's normal for their curiosity. Yeah. And it's good to see that in the book. I'm curious to our readers what your thoughts are on the chapters that we read. Did you have a favorite part? So Hope made a comment that she was a little bit frustrated at the beginning or before. I know that they're typing your question, but a comment is said that Yaya was making Talia like learn from her mistakes and what she was doing and making her take responsibility. But for Henry, she just enabled him. So why, like, it just seemed a little bit like the opposite. Your favorite part was when you were done so you could start a new book. Did you read the vampire book, right? I think you talked about it. Uh, I will be honest, I've been reading a different book, so today I had to make all of my notes to make sure that I was caught up on reading it again. Oh, okay. So while we're waiting, we were supposed to do a vote on the weekend, but we're gonna do it tonight. Maybe tomorrow we'll set it up. It'll be on Discord for next month's book. Um, there's two choices. If you want Desi and I to pick a book, we can. We both were in agreement with one of the book like choices, so we could do that. Or if you want to vote, we can also do that. Now, for voting, we do have two books. They're not romance because I know we need a break from the romance. I was just like, here, we do not need a romance because so far our readers are not wanting that. um, so my question, there are a few middle grade or YA books. Are you okay with those kind of books? Because I've noticed that more the preference is for adult books, which is fine. But there's other books that are made for not real. I guess technically they're like middle grade. They're made for like 12-year-olds or something, but you can still read them now. It doesn't stopping you from reading them now, right? But they might be just younger topics. Or would you prefer if we stay in the older category? And if yes, would you prefer that we have like a nonfiction, like maybe poems, or like a memoir? That will be a struggle, but we can do it. It's not impossible. Okay. Ooh, middle grade March. Okay. So we'll do a vote. We'll have the middle grade. We'll do the other two books we have. So, Desi, we can discuss it after. Hello, Juanita. Yes, this is the Definitely Readers Book Club. We're an online only, and we focus on deaf characters, hard of hearing characters, or books that are written by deaf and hard of hearing authors. So right now we're reading The Right Sign. The Right Sign. So next week will be the last discussion for this book. And then right now we're discussing voting for whatever the next book will be with March book. So I hope you can join us in Discord. You can find the links. The link to join is in our bios. It's on our link. Wow, can't spell tonight. Link tree. Or you can go to the website. We have a website now, www.deafinitely. So the word is definitely. We use deaf. Readers.com. Also has links to everywhere that you need to know. We do mostly discuss on Discord, so that's where the vote will be. So we also, while we do read, we do put our thoughts on each chapter in the Discord. Yeah. The discussions on live are mostly just like the bigger thoughts we've had. Individual thoughts are more on Discord. Desi, do you want to try a Discord big group live at the end of the month too? Okay. I'm going to try to be there. I probably will be maybe a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday afternoon. But so we'll have to talk about that. If you want to still vote the voting way, that's fine. So no, we're not doing romance next month. What do you think about thrillers? Psychological thrillers? Ooh. So Hope said that if we did a middle grade, she can count it for her library challenge. That's fun. Juanita, what book are you reading? I'm curious about your reading binge. Oh, Heather, your birthday's in March. That's awesome. So we do have a psychological like thriller for March already, like for the vote. We have two. We're trying to think of, well, they said maybe middle grade. So we could. Oh yeah, The Silent House. That was another option from last month, I think, maybe. Or 2 months ago. 2 months ago. So that one, oh, that's two psychological thrillers. That's fine. That's fine. Honestly, I'm fine with deleting or removing this one and doing the daisy chain reaction. That would be a good one. And then a middle grade, and then something. What are your thoughts? Okay, so the one thing about the daisy chain reaction, it is a new book. There's no audiobook. So for the other options, we will be making sure that we have an audiobook. But the daisy chain reaction is there's a physical book, and then also there is an ebook, and it's on Kindle Unlimited too. I think, right? I feel like, or maybe, for sure. Oh, which is a reminder. If you have a Kindle and you download your books like off the cloud, yep, you only have until the 26th of February to do that. After that, you can't download them off of Kindle and to save. So I will be using most of my time on Saturday making sure I have all my books. Yay! So Juanita said, "We Were Never Here" by Andrea Buck. I've never heard of that one. Farts. I haven't either. Hope that's fun. Can you send me what the challenge is? As I want to see if I can do better with some of my reading. Does it have a deaf character? Juanita Desi is asking about the book. It's a thriller. Good so far. Okay, that's cool. So, Hope, I know people who save them on their computer. So if they wanted to not use it on like on their Kindle, they could, or they can move them easier. But it seems like they can, like, now it'll only be on using on the Kindle app, or she's talking about your birthday. Um, or like an actual Kindle. Like they can't use a different kind of reader. So that. So I have, I don't know, maybe 15 books on my Kindle. Do I have to download them? No, if you're not gonna move them to a different like reader, it's fine. You only have 15 books on your Kindle? Girl. I don't know the right number, but on Stuff Your Kindle Day, some of them are from that. I'm curious. Does it tell you a number? Oh, yeah. Okay. If you go to filters, you can see. Yeah, so I have a lot of books. I almost have a little library, a home library of 1,000 books, right? Just on my Kindle. It is right. Because I have samples from books and I have 841 samples. Okay, but I've had my Kindle. Okay, this is a new one, but I've had my Kindle since 2011. I've used Kindle since around 2011, 2012 maybe. So I almost have a library because a library you have to have 1,000 books. 900. What do you mean? These are books that I've bought through the years. Oh, sorry, we're having a conversation and I'm not voice interpreting. My bad. It's, it's fine. So I had a really dumb question. It's okay. Anyways, I have a lot of books. I'm curious, if you have a Kindle, how many books do you have? So, oh, Juanita, I'm trying. I'm trying. It's not been the easiest because I do have a Kindle. Um, so I have been getting I've been borrowing from like the library, but it does like send it to my Kindle. So those aren't bought, but I already had this book. Really the only things right now that I've bought from Amazon is books on my Kindle. Um, I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. Um, anyway, yeah, I think that I got a Kindle in like 2011, 2010, something like that. That's when I started buying like online. And it was just the easiest thing like online. And it was just the easiest thing to take like when you travel. And so, but I'll be honest, the last count of books in my house, my kids, and I have two. I have two kids, had 497 books, if I remember, because my son had to count for his kindergarten class. Um, my husband had 200 books. I don't even, I don't remember. I think I had around 600 books, physical books. Yeah, I have more than her. Yeah. So I do need to count because I had a gift certificate around Christmas time and I went to a discounted book shop and I got 30 books probably, maybe more. So I have a lot that I haven't counted. I need to do it again. A lot of books. Anyway, my dog is using my shoes as a pillow. Anyway, um, yeah. So about the voting, I'm hoping we will have some good choices for March and we'll make sure that there's not any romance. if there's romance in the book, it will be like a subplot, not the main focus. Because I'll be honest, most books, most, not all, but a lot of books have like romance in some things, not the main focus, but they will be in the background. I get those too, and I use them. She. Okay, so she has 5,000 books on her Kindle. Nice. That's exciting. That's a lot. That'll take forever to read all of them. I'm reading all the comments. I'm catching up on all the comments. Yes, I didn't count my Kindle Unlimited books. I have a lot too of that. And I do the stuff your Kindle day. So it's fun. Okay, so voting will be probably tomorrow. We'll post it and like on Discord. We'll have 3 options and we'll post the information about each. So you can decide and it will, so we'll pick around probably Saturday will be the last day, right? Yeah, for the 72 hours. So we'll let you guys vote. And then next week we will be discussing the last 5 chapters, 20 to 25. And we'll be done with the romance book. We'll be done with the romance month. This February was also for Valentine's Day. Um, but yeah, and I found it very interesting just reading it again and just seeing what I've noticed the differences. I feel like the first time I read this was a lot. And the second time I'm reading it, I feel like, that's it? I thought there was more than that. Like a lot of ASL, a lot of deaf culture. Yeah. I thought that was more of that. Oh, but it's really not. And not compared to what books we have read after that. And I think now we are finding maybe not better books, maybe, but like now we're searching for these kinds of books. And we're testing and trying and analyzing and it's just but it is just interesting to see the growth of what we've noticed and like the things that have changed, what we like, what we don't like in a book. I do remember this was the first time that no, they don't do it. They don't italicize the signing. And I thought that they did at all. Yeah. And sometimes, so when what is that book that I was after that one? The first book we read, Unravel by Amelia Loken. And it was italicized. So that one we were like, oh, we like that. So you can see the differences because like honestly, sometimes it doesn't seem like Yaya is signing. because it doesn't really even like tag it. It doesn't say signed or something. You just have to know that Yaya is not speaking. And if it was italicized, you would know it more, right? It'd be an easier reminder. And that's something that we found that we liked, that we preferred after. Now it's hard for me to read books that don't have it. It's like the first thing I notice. Um, yeah. Well, and then also, uh, like, so, okay, after reading, so we'll be honest, the psychological thriller option is one we read last month. The hard of hearing author reached out to us and asked if we wanted to read it. We said sure, and we both really loved it. And now, one thing that I found that I really enjoy is seeing ASL slang in the book. And we've never seen that before. Most authors don't like add that, like, say 258. But that's something, or champ or whatever. Yeah, or that. Like, that was the first book that we have read that has that. Yeah. And now, I found opportunities in this book that I was like, you could have added that, like that. And I told the author, and also the author may sit down and discuss the book if we choose that one. I feel like she would be willing to do that. Um, oh, but I told the author, like, after I read it, I said, I've never thought about just adding that in, that ASL slang, into what I was reading. That scared me. My husband is home. And I was like, now I want to add that in my story. Like, oh, because it's something that is done. Like, you say champ or that, or like, like you say it. Why not show it? Or you do it, you sign it. Why not say it? Anyway, I should add Bing into the story. Oh, so Hope, Def Bing, yeah. So Hope said, maybe that's why there seems like he knows more signing, because it's not italicized, it's not really emphasized and like shown in the book. So it seems like he knows more, and the author, like, okay, like, anyway, yeah, that. I did enjoy the book. I did still like the book. I just think now I've noticed more things. I've found things that I prefer. It's not my top favorite anymore. So okay. So now, if you remember when we first started analyzing the books and started the book club, we we would use the right sign as our book, right? To compare what we were reading. Now, I've noticed recently we've both been saying, like, quiet beautiful things, or like, honestly, last week I was discussing it with a person and I said the daisy chain reaction. Like, there were things in that book that I told the author, like, she didn't actually italicize signing, and I was like, I would have like preferred that. But anyway, it's just an interesting change. It's a like a mind shift. So it's always adjusting. You're always moving your top. So your favorite is always changing, and right. Like it's still quite beautiful things, and I really like Daisy Chain Reaction. I would have given 5 stars, but I gave it 4.9 because I just wanted more. Well, she's writing Violet's story now. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. So, but really our favorite will always be changing and adjusting. Maybe we'll have other books, but maybe one day will be mine, right? We'll see. But one thing we hate will always still say this, always at the bottom. Yeah. And I'm curious. I'm curious because I have seen some authors, if a reviewer has said like, hey, you really need to change and edit your book, like there are things wrong, they will take down their book and like redo it and then upload it again. So I'm curious if it's changed. I don't want to read it again. I don't want to like try to find it. I doubt it. She said I doubt it. Yeah. This was like the 6th book in the series, so probably not. Yeah. And that book, in case you want to know, is Every Wrong You Write. And I said I forgot the author's name. I said it was Every Wrong You Write. She's not wrong. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway. But yeah. But I think, so if I was that author, I would just take it down and just fix it. Start again. Edit. Change everything. Start from scratch. Like the story was cute, but I couldn't focus on the story. Every Wrong You Write, where the hearing man learns sign for the girl. It was like horrible movie, B-rated movie. So, hi Jade. Yes. So, that is Anna Sorrentino, I think. Give Me a Sign, and she has a new one, and I've not read it yet. That might be one. That's a middle grade one too, or it's more YA. Yes, and Anna she's deaf, so it's a deaf author. So you will notice like the authors who really get like a sensitivity reader or who are deaf will have more cultural things in the book, like showing signing, not just saying signs. It's cute. It's a cute book. I liked it. There were some things that I was just a little bit I disagreed with, but I did like it. It was cute. Mm-hmm. We read that for our in-person book club, right? I think. I can't remember. I think so. Because we both read it that summer that it released. Yeah. So it's about a girl who is hard of hearing. She has hearing aids. She does not really sign. She speaks. and she goes to camp. And she went to work there. It was a deaf camp. And she went when she was young, 2 or 3 years. But her family is hearing. Well, her brother? No, her brother or her sister is hard of hearing and is thinking about getting a cochlear at the end of the book. That character you couldn't really relate to well because it's a very immature character. So she meets a deaf boy there, and it's just a little bit with their dialogue. She is not really understanding sign, and there's a lot of miscommunication and some conflict. Yeah, it's okay. It's an okay book. I like it, but it's not my favorite. Yes. Okay. You were. I couldn't see if you're reading the comments, but what I was gonna say is, if I remember correctly, part of the reason why that book bothered me a little bit was it was very, very preachy. And that's I think the problem that I have with True Biz too. Very it's made for a hearing like audience. It's very explicit. Yeah, we just want to read the story and we want to relate to the character, but not have it like, you need cochlear, you need or you don't need that. You need to be like, what is it, deaf pride, like that kind of thing. And if I remember correctly, there were the disagreements I had with the book is how they handled like explanations of things because the character was raised hearing. Yes, she went to a deaf camp 2 years, but she was raised like oral, and it was kind of like because she doesn't sign, and then she started to remember what she had learned, and she started to pick it up, and then there was just like this big discussion about a cochlear and how it's wrong. Not the deal with with the cop. Oh yeah, the scene with the cop and like the hands, that was hard. That was very, very it was hard to read because it is has happened. It is true things. But that needed a warning. Um anyway, it's not a bad book. It does have good deaf representation. I just felt like for me, I wanted to see the character and the story, not be preached. That's a personal opinion. We know it. We already know. And but and it felt like it was written same as Trubis. Not saying that Sarah Novick, who is a deaf author too, are bad, right? Like authors. No. I'm saying that was for a hearing audience, not a deaf audience. And I have found my preference is to have the deaf characters treated like normal characters. Yes, some deaf culture explanations, but not. Do you understand? Like what I'm trying to say? Like, it's okay to have some explanation, but I don't need it just preached at me in the book. Enough for the hearing audience to understand. and explain if they don't, like, and if the character can use it as an explanation, fine. And I had to delete some scenes because I was like, ooh, I was getting very like, okay. So I wish this book released earlier, but it releases in March. Oh, Kelly Andrews' new book. And it's a thriller, right? Yeah. I think maybe one of the choices. So I would prefer an author we've not done yet. Like the new book for Kelly Andrews is fine. But I would prefer like an author we've not read yet to try a new author. That's my preference. So I'm asking a question for our readers. Do you have any books you are that are trigger warnings that you're not really interested in reading that will kind of help us to figure out what kind of books to book options? Um, do you want to explain what you mean? Like, for example, 27 Days. It is written by Allison Gervais, which is an author we already read. But that book discusses suicide. And it's like Groundhog Day, right? I guess it happens again and again where she relives what happened to race against time. So I'm not sure what your triggers are. So if it's not this kind of book, then we will not bring it up in the club. I'll reading on my own, which is fine. But some things will help us decide what is good. In 27 days is this one. She, yes. It is a very like that, like keeping it from for being a good representation but not being preachy is hard because there are some things that trigger me when I write, and that will always be more preachy than not. Um, so that is, it is hard to do. Uh, Jade, your question. So okay. So it's hard because we were just discussing this. Some opinions have changed. Like now, like if you're okay with a romance book, Quiet Beautiful Things by ooh, so I'm not going to figure spell her name. Samantha Christie is a good adult romance book that has a deaf main female character, and then also it has a language deprived 4-year old girl, and there she is a main character too. So you can see some differences that happen for a person who is a strong female character and who was raised very like deaf pride. Um, and then you can also see what happens when you have a kid who is language deprived. So that is good, and it was not made for hearing or deaf audiences. It was just it's a good book to read. Um, Your Welcome Universe by Lindsay Gardner, I think. It is a YA book. That does a very well written. I really enjoyed that book. And this is before I started analyzing it. So I don't know now. Like, I might change my mind, but I read this book years ago. Um, it is written for anyone to read. It's not like hearing audience, deaf audience. Song for a Well by Lynn Kelly is a really cute one. It is a middle grade. It is heart-wrenching, but it is a good representation in that book. And it's an interpreter who wrote that book. Recent reads was, I would say, The Daisy Chain Reaction by AC Toy, and she's a hard of hearing author. That was a good representation. There's a few things that I would have changed, but the representation is good, and it is a main side character, but it is a good book. Trying to think. Unravel, if you want fantasy, is a YA book. I felt like it was a good representation. It is an interpreter who is now like late deafened, Amelia Loken. So she had, it was really cool. She had like magical like hair clips that were used kind of like, not really a cochlear, it was more like hearing aids. So that was an interesting thing in the book. I mean, I guess technically Dust was good. The representation, I'm on the fence still with that book. But that is just, that's dystopian. So if you want that kind of book, it is YA. I'm going through my mental like list that I have. Okay, so I do like Alison Gervais is good. She's a hard of hearing author. The Silence Between Us was a good one. It is YA romance, but it's light. It's light. It's not like adult romance. Um, the Show Me a Sign ones, there's like 3 books. Those are good. I've only read the first one. I've not read the second or third, but it's about Martha's Vineyard. Now that is, I still feel like that is still made more for a hearing audience, but it's not very preachy. That's by, who's the author? The last name starts with a Z. I can't remember. So we both have, and then the club has like a big list of books. And if we've read the book, they are bolded. I need to update my list. But if they're not a good representation, we do delete them off. Oh, hey. There's a new release soon in April by a deaf author. And it sounds cool. I think it's a mystery book, but I did add it to my list. I'll have to find it again. So I recently ordered a sci-fi book that we mentioned, Starfall. Oh, really? I will get it on Friday. So I will look and see and let you guys know. Okay, Heather, sorry. Dust is not dystopian. You're right. Not really. Another book I thought sounded good. What was the name? What sister? One deaf and one hearing. One hearing sister is interpreter for her deaf, and I went through the hard time. Inskip? Inskip? Oh. Oh. I can't remember. Oh, In These Hands by. Ooh, the name is weird. I don't know how to fingerspell it. Asphasia? Aspaixa. I don't think it's that one. Okay. I will let you guys know. It sounds really interesting. Um, okay, hey. Heather, 1 minute. I'm going to screenshot the comment because of the trigger warnings. There's some on the list. So I'm sorry if you maybe if you'll put it on Discord too. But I will screenshot this. Well, I'm not going to screenshot it. Well, I guess I can. Let's see. Maybe. Nope. I can't do it. I mess it up. 1 second. Yeah, we don't want to get flagged on TikTok. That's true. That's the title of the book she's holding. We don't want to have for a book that has horrible, disgusting things in it. Oh, In the Deep? In the Deep, you said? You said In the Deep? Someone commented that. In the Rolling Deep? Ooh. Oh, wait. Yes, I think I have it on my list. If it's the right one. By Shannon? I'm gonna say that wrong. McGuire? It's not charged. It's unplugged the whole time. Anyway. Google Soul says In the Deep person. Oh, thank you, Desi posing. Yeah. Rolling in the Deep and In the Drowning Deep. Both have deaf characters. Okay. Interesting. I've never heard of that. So, yeah. So we'll see. Rolling in the Deep is Adele, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Any last minute about the book that we are currently reading, right? Yeah, Adele. The next week, the last 5 chapters, 20 to 25. Mm-hmm. Yes. I wanted to talk about this tonight, but we didn't really have time. So you know that the Grammys, this it's the deaf culture discussion. Yeah, so it had the picture and the announcements had their own interpreters come up on the screen. It was very interesting. So you don't often see that. And the hearing announcer person hired their own interpreter for the deaf audience. And that was interesting, but at the same time I was like, why now? Why not do that before? But also, anyways, my point is hopefully we can talk about more deaf hot topics next week, you said? Maybe if we have time, we can make the time. Um, we were live 2 times a week, but now we're only live once. So we did a book discussion and a deaf culture discussion. I just don't have time. I know, but we can do we can split the time, like 30-minute book discussion, like shorten that a little bit, and then maybe one topic to talk about. That is a hard sentence to say. Is it that book? I need to make sure first. And then I did a lot of research and I've added on my list. And then I find them and then I add them. There's a lot that I want to read. One book, it looks so bad, but I really want to read it. I already told you my deaf mates. It's about a werewolf, alpha, whatever. And he meets a hearing or a deaf girl. And I'm just like, that awful book. Like you have to read it. You have to read it. Not quality reading, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that is all from me. Um, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah. Um, and I will be honest, Desi and she, yes, I would read that just because of the cringe. Uh, can you imagine that? My deaf mate. Oh, can you hear my oh? You made me. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah. Okay. So we will post the vote tomorrow. We'll start it tomorrow. I probably will FaceTime Desi after this to make sure we have the books. Okay. Well, happy reading. Happy Wednesday. See everyone next week on Wednesday. Yeah. The comments. Yeah. Um, so okay, funny. My son's favorite movie, one of the favorite movies, is Zombies, like on Disney, ZOM by. Well, so I've watched them all three of them. My favorite is the second one when we have the wolves. And so he prefers to listen to the music in the car on the way to gymnastics. And today we were listening to the songs, and so he was. I like that movie. Yeah, yeah. So he was howling the song. Was it says like we're wolves. Oh. So we're driving, and both the kids are just howling in the car. Funny. Yeah. I just have to read the conversations in the mirror. But anyway, okay. That's a silly story before we leave. Okay, see you next week. Happy reading. Happy Wednesday. And we'll finish the romance book, and then we will do more of a thriller or middle grade, depending. Whichever is chosen. That.